Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
The war in Ukraine is reaching a pivotal moment in violence. I'm Micah Jaji reporting in Washington. Coming up, why world leaders fear chemical weapons were used.
Outside with live cam, some sprinkles in San Antonio. But according to our team of meteorologists, I think we're worried more about what could happen later on this afternoon into early this evening. Good morning, everybody. It's Tuesday, April 12th.
Thanks for joining us. Hope you had a good Monday. Yeah, I saw a few raindrops on the way in.
Yeah, we saw it right there on that camera there, that live cam. Justin is in for Mike and has more on what could happen this morning and again later today.
Yeah, there's a lot happening here, a lot of moving parts, but it's damp out there this morning. We've got drizzle, a little bit of fog, and I think we'll see some showers off and on through the morning time. So keep that in mind as you head out the door this morning. There's going to be some slick roads here and there, and the radar doesn't show a whole lot, but what we have are these light returns, which basically translates to just a little bit of drizzle there. You may have to use the windshield wipers. Some more bona fide showers as you get down towards Corpus Christi, but there is some energy coming through. I think we could see, again, some more showers throughout the morning. As far as the fog is concerned, seeing visibility dropped about 1.75 miles there at Castroville, 2.5 miles Port SA, and starting to see some visibilities come down here around San Antonio as well. Temperatures are warm, 73 here in town, 72 in New Braunfels, 70 in Kerrville, and seeing a lot of 70s on the map this morning. It'll be a fairly warm afternoon too. We should get some sun mixing in there a little bit later today. In the meantime, 30 to 40% chance of showers, light rain through the morning time. And then by 11 a.m., maybe some peaks of sun starting to show. And then by the afternoon, as Mark alluded to, chances of storms. And in this case, these could be strong to severe. So that's why this is a time frame we really need to watch. Temperatures today will top out in the low 90s, and it will be awful humid. Beyond that, we have some fire threats to talk about, some gusty winds too. So a lot happening in the 7-day forecast, and we're going to get that to you coming up in just a little bit.
Thank you very much, Justin. We have trouble on I-10 near Brazos this morning. An 18-wheeler fire reported just before midnight on I-10 eastbound near Brazos Street. First responders have shut down both the upper and lower levels as they work to clear this situation. Westbound lower level at Frio is also closed as a precaution. Our Stephen Cavazos will have an update coming up in just about 10 or 15 minutes.
And now to one of the top stories we're following this morning. The search is on for an elderly man.
Sarah Costa joins us in studio with the details. Sarah, what can you tell us about what police are looking for?
Good morning, Mark. Good morning, Stephanie. Yeah, San Antonio police say the man is 75 years old and suffers from dementia. He was last seen on the city's west side. So Antonio Medina Espinosa was reported missing Monday at 2 p.m. and was last spotted on Meadow Forest Street. That's in a neighborhood just outside of Loop 410 near Culebra. Police tell us he was last seen wearing black jeans, a brown button-up shirt, and black Nike shoes. We are told his medical condition requires a doctor's care. So if you have any information, call the SAPD Missing Persons Unit. That number on your screen right now, 210-207-7660. We have all this information also right now on KSAT.com. Stephanie?
Thank you, Sarah. Police responded to a deadly crash north of downtown late last night, and it happened on Broadway near Eleanor. Police say a driver may have had a green light while traveling down Broadway when he hit a man in his 70s. Police say that man died at the scene. Now, officers tell us that the driver did stop at that scene to try to help. An identity has not been released.
Now on to the war in Ukraine. Devastating new images coming in out of the port city of Mariupol, showing the extent of brutality of Russian forces.
ABC's Ika Jachi is in Washington with more.
This morning, the Pentagon is closely monitoring unconfirmed reports of Russian troops using chemical weapons in Ukraine. A paramilitary group incorporated into Ukraine's National Guard accuses Russian forces of using a drone to drop a poisonous substance in the city of Mariupol. A Pentagon spokesperson writing in a statement, "These reports, if true, are deeply concerning." Last month, NATO Secretary General said the use of chemical weapons would totally change the nature of this conflict.
And it will be a blatant violation of international law and will have far-reaching consequences.
As many as 20,000 people have been killed in Mariupol, according to the mayor. It comes as military experts warn Russia now plans to launch massive attacks on other cities in the southeast to create a land bridge with Crimea, which the Russians annexed in 2014. Outside the capital, Kyiv, Ukrainian authorities are now focused on clearing mines. President Zelensky says before they withdrew, Russian soldiers set armed traps throughout the region. ABC's James Longman saw the danger firsthand.
This was a school that was being used by Russian troops. You see this string, it leads onto the front door there, and there could very well be a trap on the other side of there, a charge waiting to explode.
Austria's chancellor is now the first EU leader to meet Vladimir Putin face-to-face since the invasion began. The chancellor saying he was not particularly optimistic after his talk with Putin yesterday. This conflict is having a tremendous effect on children. The UN now says nearly 2/3 of Ukrainian children have now fled their homes. Ike Ajachi, ABC News, Washington.
The United States has ordered all non-emergency government staff to leave Shanghai, China, which is under a tight lockdown to contain a new COVID surge. Many residents in the city of 26 million people have been confined to their homes for up to 3 weeks as China maintains its zero COVID strategy of handling outbreaks. U.S. State Department ordered non-emergency employees at the consulate and family members, and follows the advisory last week that made the decision to leave voluntary. Shanghai has had another 23,000 cases reported just today.
Commercial traffic at the Texas-Mexico border is halted temporarily due to an ongoing protest on the Mexican side. Now, this is happening at the Reynosa International Bridge, a major port of entry for the border that handles both commercial and passenger vehicles. Right now, there is no southbound movements by U.S. carriers, and truck drivers are protesting what they say are excessive wait times, delays, especially on the U.S. side of the border. Now, dozens of drivers have been seen standing by their trucks and in the middle of the street, blocking the port of entry in an attempt to express their frustrations.
We are getting our first look at guns and other gear seized by federal authorities from the two men who the Department of Justice says were impersonating Homeland Security agents. The two men arrested last week accused of trying to gain approval of federal agents for 2 years by giving them expensive gifts, including rent-free apartments. During a detention hearing Monday, defense attorneys for the two argued the Justice Department was overblowing their actions. Attorneys for one of the men said he genuinely believed he was acting on behalf of the Department of Homeland Security.
And time now, 4:37 and 72 degrees for now.
Up next, the San Antonio Spurs in a must-win scenario going into tomorrow's play-in tournament game. We'll have a look at what the team is up against.
And taking a look outside with live cam. The roads are kind of wet out there, a little drizzle. Be careful. We're at 72 degrees. We'll be right back.
Now that the regular season is over, our San Antonio Spurs have a chance to make the playoffs by participating in their second straight play-in tournament. This year they have to get by the Pelicans in New Orleans tomorrow night in order to play in the second round. Spurs have beaten Pelicans 3 out of 4 times this season, including 2 wins in New Orleans on February 12th and again on March 26th. Now, after losing to the Mavs in Dallas to wrap up the regular season, Spurs go into this must-win showdown in New Orleans on a 3-game losing streak.
You got to give it your all from the first guy to the last guy, and it's going to be a dogfight. We on the road, so we against New Orleans and just their whole fan base. So just be excited, ready, go have fun. That's what it's really about. There's a lot of teams going home today and starting their summer and off season. So, be thankful for that. Obviously, it wasn't a season we wanted as far as, record-wise. I feel like we're way better than what we are. But on the bright side, we still alive and we got a chance to make the playoffs.
We're packing for 4 games. Yeah. 4 games. I think we packing in for 2 play-ins and 2 playoff games. So we packing, everybody on the team's packing for 4 games, and we're going to come there ready to play.
Meanwhile, the Pelicans go into the play-in against the Spurs on a 2-game losing streak. That's after they were blown out by the Warriors Sunday to finish in the 9th play-in position, 2 games ahead of our Spurs. In that loss, Klay Thompson put an exclamation mark on his incredible comeback following his knee and Achilles injuries that kept him sidelined for 2 full seasons. And he did it by scoring a season-high 41 points that included 7 3-pointers to help the Warriors secure the 3rd seed in the Western Conference playoffs. All right, so the NBA play-in game between the Spurs and Pelicans tips off tomorrow night, 8:30 at Smoothie King Center. I wish it was a little earlier for us, Steph.
I know. We're going to have to wait till the next morning.
Or at least watch the very front end.
Yeah, the very beginning.
Go Spurs, go.
Time now, 4:42 and 72 degrees for now. And detained for more than 50 days. Coming up next, the first look at what's next for Olympic gold medalist Brittany Griner and what the head of the WNBA is saying about that issue. And welcome back. It's 4:45. This morning, Olympic gold medalist Brittany Griner is still imprisoned in Russia. ABC's Janae Norman shares what's next for Griner in today's GMA First Look.
In this morning's GMA First Look, detained for more than 50 days. Two-time U.S. Olympic gold medalist Brittany Griner still in Russia after video released by Russian customs appears to show the 31-year-old athlete going through airport security near Moscow. The video then shows an employee removing a package from her bag. Russian state media reporting Griner had vape cartridges containing hashish oil.
Welcome to the 2022 WNBA draft.
Overnight, the WNBA commissioner addressing the fight to free Griner.
Please know that getting her home safely continues to be our top priority.
And coming up at 7 a.m., an ABC News exclusive, Robin Roberts goes one-on-one with Nneka Ogwumike, the president of the Women's National Basketball Players Association, in a live interview. With your GMA First Look, I'm Janae Norman, ABC News, New York.
4:46, and we usually do not have Stephen in this half hour. There's usually not much going on, but right now it's a whole different story.
That's right. Major issues on I-10. Let's go ahead and check with him, Stephen.
Yeah, this has, I think, impacted a lot of people's commute here. I was talking to Justin about this situation. It even impacted my commute coming into work. So I-10 at Brazos, not necessarily a place that you want to drive through right now, especially this early in the morning. Let's get a closer look at TransGuide. So as I mentioned, this does impact a lot of people's commute time, especially if you're traveling into the downtown San Antonio area. We do have flashing lights out there. What we're looking at are first responders working to clear up the scene following an 18-wheeler that caught fire just before midnight. So they have been out there for several hours now, and this has led to some major closures, especially if you are trying to head into the downtown area. Well, everywhere else looks pretty green on the screen. As we drive in here, we do see that big buildup in the westbound lanes, or pardon me, this should say I-10 eastbound right there at Brazos. Now, what I can tell you is that through our friends at TransGuide, they have told us that the upper and lower level are closed at I-10 eastbound at Brazos Streets, and we also are seeing that the eastbound or the westbound lanes at Frios Street, that lower level near I-10, is also closed as a precaution. So again, not a place you want to travel through right now. We do see some major delays. Again, this impacted my commute coming into work this morning, and it will definitely impact your drive time if you have to head to the downtown area shortly. And our map just also popping up that road closure icon right there at the bottom. So we're going to be looking for those alternative routes throughout the morning. But as I mentioned, not a place you want to be right now, especially if you have to head downtown in the next few minutes. Start looking for those alternative routes. But this is definitely going to be there for quite a while.
Yeah, Stephen, I guess if there's a silver lining here is it's still so early,
yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, but it's still, and that's good news. So we're not seeing a lot of traffic out there on the roads this early. However, it's definitely causing delays. Again, it caused me to be late to work, and I could see first responders when you're able to get up on the upper level. They were working on clearing that 18-wheeler out, so it's going to take some time.
Well, we appreciate you joining us extra early this morning.
Thanks, guys.
Yes,
Thank you, Stephen. Justin is here, and this is the time of year, of course, we all seem to be very mindful of situations where we could see strong to severe storms.
It's a possibility this afternoon. That's just one part of the forecast here that we're looking at. We've also got to mention, if you're heading out the door this morning, there's some damp roads out there. Nothing that's very heavy showing up on radar, but it's that fine drizzle, mist, fog that can make the roads a little bit slick. So we got to be careful out there. We're noticing some showers also developing here along the Rio Grande. Some of these will make their way towards San Antonio a little bit later this morning. So there is some energy in the atmosphere. And I think as we get into the afternoon, we are going to have to be mindful of that threat for a few strong storms. As we go outside for you, you can kind of see the drizzle and low visibility out there, at least in spots. 73 at the airport, 75 Stinson, 72 Kelly, 72 right now at Randolph. Temperatures generally in the 70s. It's a warm, muggy morning. You'll be hard-pressed to even find 60s on the map right now. There are some around Los Maples and Bernie Stage, but that's about it. As far as visibility goes, we have one little area right here west of town, so Port SA, Castroville over to Honda, where we are seeing some lower visibility. Wind gusts, that's going to be another part to the forecast today. We are going to see some gusty winds. I think we could see some gusts in the range of 20 to 25 miles per hour. And this is going to be out of the south. So expect those winds to be fairly gusty, especially during the afternoon. As you go west, those winds pick up. We get more of a westerly wind there. high fire danger in places like Uvalde, Rock Springs, and Del Rio. And this is going to be a theme across all of West Texas today. A high fire risk for the Panhandle. There could be several grass fires. It has been so dry there. On the flip side of things, that's west of the dry line. You go east of the dry line, you're going to run into the threat for severe weather. Best chances Waco to Dallas, but locally we have chances here too. That dry line, if it becomes active this afternoon, will likely touch off a severe storm or two. We're in the scattered range here on a scale of 1 to 5, about a 2. So as we look at the futurecast here, shows those showers coming through. By about lunchtime, we start to see some clearing. This particular model, and this is just one model, does show a storm developing along the dry line a little bit later this afternoon and then working its way east. Doesn't mean that's exactly where it will form. Keep in mind, it could be anywhere, but that's kind of the general idea. And then as we head into this evening, most everything would die down. By tomorrow morning, maybe a few more showers. Then a front comes through and we get some very dry air by Wednesday afternoon. This is Wednesday at 5 o'clock. Dew points are in the 20s and 30s. We've got wind gusts to 25 miles per hour out of the northwest. You know what that means. High fire threat comes back into play tomorrow. So many moving parts in this forecast. But 30% to 40% chance of some showers this morning. We'll start to see some clearing by midday. Then we're going to put in a 30% chance of some showers and storms this evening with that threat of a few strong storms. 94 tomorrow with the fire danger, 88 Thursday, 85 for Good Friday. We've also added some small rain chances to Easter weekend. Right now, I think it could be a few isolated storms in the afternoon. Just one more thing we have to look out for right now.
Lots going on.
Yeah, we'll watch out for it. Thank you, Justin.
Thank you, sir. Right now, 4:51, about 72 degrees.
And coming up next, a popular series is renewed for a second season. Plus, Harry Styles celebrates another win on the Billboard charts.
Pick 3 numbers, 355, Fireball 7, Daily 4, 1245, Fireball 6.
Cash 5, 4, 7, 12, 27, 29. And your Texas two-step, 11, 15, 32, 33, bonus ball 32. Powerball 5, 7, 24, 31, 34. Powerball 4, Power Play 2. Good luck.
$4.55, a new big hit for Harry Styles, plus a critically acclaimed series just wrapped up its first season on Apple TV+.
For the latest on what's happening in Hollywood, here's ABC's Jason Nathan.
Hot 100 singles chart. It's his second number 1 after Watermelon Sugar, and Billboard points out it's the first song this year to debut at number 1. Every other chart topper so far in 2022 has climbed to the top. The critically acclaimed series Severance just wrapped up its first season. Star Britt Lower's character, Helly, part of a twist very few saw coming. And she tells me this sci-fi-ish series that deals with people who have separated their work and non-work memories explores a very relatable question.
Does forgetting about the painful parts of life actually make your life better? And I think it's a very human desire to want to compartmentalize or skip over things that are uncomfortable or that we don't want to face, whether it's work or a part of ourselves that we don't like.
Severance has been renewed by Apple TV Plus for a season 2, and you can watch all of season 1 now. The low-slung guitar Kurt Cobain rocks in the iconic Nirvana video for Smells Like Teen Spirit can be yours if you're loaded. It's going up for sale through Julian's Auction House. The starting estimate between $600,000 to $800,000, but expected to go for much, much more. The guitar Cobain played for Nirvana's MTV Unplugged special went for $6 million, the highest price ever paid for a guitar at auction. And happy birthday to retired late-night king David Letterman. He's 75 today. While actor Shannon Doherty, who's battling breast cancer, is 51. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. I'm Jason Nathanson, ABC News, Los Angeles.
It's so funny. Every time we see a clip of Letterman these days, Steph's like, whoa. You forget about the beard, right?
I do forget. I mean, we've seen video of him, with the beard before, but I'm so used to what he used to look like when he was on the show, and that's the image I have in my head. So every time I see the beard, I'm like, oh my goodness.
I get it. He is enjoying retirement for sure. 4:57, about 71 degrees.
And still ahead on GMSA, the Labor Department is expected to report inflation has hit its highest level since 1981. How President Biden is responding to that situation.
And we'll tell you why some of your favorite stores and creators on Etsy may not be available to order from, may not be able to order from them today. Details coming up in Tech Bites.
And a quick look at the roads with TransGuide. Looking there again at the buildup from the problems we're having at I-10. This is a shot here at I-10 at Hildebrand. You can also see some raindrops on our camera. We're going to be checking in with Stephen Cavazos very soon.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Making headlines this morning, economists warn we could see a recession by the end of next year due to the rising cost of goods. How President Biden is responding.
Outside with live cam, we have showers in the area right now, and Justin has us on alert for possible storms later on. Good morning, everybody. It is Tuesday, April 12th.
Thanks for joining us. And we do need the rain, but hopefully it's not too severe out there.
That's true. That is the catch for sure. But any rain is a welcome sight at this point.
It absolutely is. We are seeing a little bit this morning. I mean, a little bit. It's not a lot, but just a drizzly kind of nuisance stuff. It's going to make for some slick roads if you're heading out the door right now. You may want to grab the umbrella just in case. It's not going to be very heavy through the morning hours. I want to show you the radar, and you can see the light returns. We do have some energy coming in from the south and west, so it's possible we could see a few more showers as we go throughout the course of this morning. Then we get some clearing this afternoon, and we watch the radar very closely for the potential of a couple of storms popping up during the afternoon and evening hours. Fog is trying to spread a little bit. None of this fog is too thick, but visibility has been down in places like Castroville, over towards Port St. and Bernie Stage, seeing those numbers come down some. As we look at temperatures, it is warm, 70s. It's humid. We're at 71 at the airport, 73 Pleasanton, 70 in Kerrville, 68 Bernie Stage, one of the quote-unquote cooler spots this morning. It's going to be a warm day for sure, and we'll see those temperatures ramp up despite cloud cover up around 81 degrees by midday. And then once we see some clearing, depending on how much we see, I think temperatures probably jump into the low 90s here in San Antonio. You see there on the edge of your screen, some triple digits possible down to the south and west. And out west, there will be a high fire threat. So a lot of moving parts today in the forecast. We're going to talk more about that storm threat, when it could happen, and if we have more rain chances down the line. That's coming up in just a bit. But now let's go over to Steven. He's had a busy morning too. How are things looking right now?
Yeah, you know, we didn't see a lot of those droplets from some of these TransGuide cameras, Justin. But the big issue is going to be here along I-10. Let's go ahead and bring you in a little bit closer. Our friends over at TransGuide showing us that buildup there along the access roads. And this is something that a few of us here at the station encountered coming into the work earlier this morning. But we can see that the upper level there at I-10 is going to be closed. And that's what we can also see at the lower levels. So those access roads, if you're heading into the downtown area in the eastbound lanes, are going to be seeing some major delays, at least for the next few hours or so. We're going to watch it closely, but that buildup is already starting to happen here again on those eastbound lanes right there at Brazos Street. Now, according to KSAT, this is due to a vehicle fire, and I can tell you from my own site coming into work that involved an 18-wheeler. Not clear if this caused any issues or injuries for the driver. We're hoping that they're okay, but obviously this is already causing an impact with traffic. Again, I-10 eastbound at Brazos, the upper level and lower level is going to be closed. So plan your routes ahead of time before you have to head out to work this morning. It's still early enough to where you can probably exit Fresno, take that detour and get onto San Pedro Avenue if you need to head down to the downtown area. But keep in mind, it does look like a crash may have popped up near San Pedro. So we'll watch that closely. Good news is everywhere else looks like you're in great shape. No need to rush out the door, especially when we see a few of those droplets out there this morning. Inbound times looking like they're in great shape as well. No need to rush out to San Antonio or to the downtown area from any of these communities just yet. So we're going to watch roads closely, but the big issue is going to be here along I-10 at Hildebrand. Again, traffic is moving pretty slowly at this hour. We'll have more updates coming up a little bit later on. Mark, Stephanie.
Stephen, thank you. Police need your help finding the person responsible for shooting and killing a man on the city's west side back in March.
Crime Stoppers has released surveillance photos of the car they say the shooter drove off in. Sarah Costa joins us in the studio with the very latest. Good morning.
Good morning, Steph. Good morning, Mark. And police say that man was shot in the head in a drive-by shooting that happened in the evening of March 25th on the city's west side. Just take a look at your screen. Here are the photos police have released for their investigation. So those bottom two pictures are pictures grabbed from surveillance video the night of the shooting, along with the picture of the man that was killed. So you see a black Chevrolet Malibu on your screen. I know it's a little tough to see. Police say they believe that was the car the shooter was in when he shot that man on your screen, 28-year-old Juan Mendoza. So the shooting happened around 7 p.m. Friday, March 25th. Police say Mendoza was in the driver's seat of his car and stopped at a red light on El Paso Street and South General McMullen Drive. That's when investigators say the driver of that black Malibu we showed you earlier pulled up and shot the 28-year-old once in the head and drove off. A woman was sitting in the passenger seat of Mendoza's car when he was shot. She was not hurt. Investigators say she is the only witness to this shooting. She could not provide information on what happened. So if you know any information about the suspect involved, you can call Crime Stoppers, that number 224-STOP. If your information leads up to an arrest, you may be able to earn up to $5,000 in cash. You may remain anonymous. You can find all this information on KSAT.com. Mark and Stephanie.
Thank you, Sarah. An update to that wildfire burning at Joint Base San Antonio Camp Bullis. Right now, it is 70% contained. The fire has burned through more than 3,000 acres since it started on Saturday. Authorities say that recent rain and humid conditions have helped contain the fire. The cause has not been identified.
A report out this morning expects to show inflation has hit a new high, the worst since 1981.
And there's word that President Biden is about to take new action on one big concern, the price of gas. ABC's Andrew Dimbert has more.
Economists are sounding the alarm about today's report on inflation. It's going to be pretty ugly. The Labor Department is expected to report that inflation just hit its highest level since 1981, rising at an annual rate of 8.4% in March, up from 7.9% in February.
Wages are closer to 6%, so inflation is faster than wage growth. That's not good. That means people's purchasing power is declining. They're not able to buy as much as they did a year ago.
The White House says previous inflation reports did not factor in the jump in oil prices brought on partly by the war in Ukraine.
We expect March CPI headline inflation to be extraordinarily elevated due to Putin's price hike.
Many economists warn we could see a recession by the end of next year due to the rising cost of goods and the Federal Reserve raising key interest rates in the coming months.
It's in this kind of environment, high inflation, high interest rates, when things kind of go off the rails and recessions can occur. So people are already pretty nervous, but if they lose faith and run for the bunker and stop spending, stop hiring, stop doing what they typically do, that would be a recession.
Surging food and energy costs have been the driving forces behind the record inflation. Today, President Biden is visiting Iowa, where he's expected to focus on gas prices. According to the Des Moines Register, the president is announcing a plan to allow the year-round sale of gasoline made with 15% ethanol, a less expensive blend usually banned during the summer due to pollution concerns. The move could lower prices at the pump by as much as 10 cents, but few gas stations actually sell that blend. Only about 2% of stations nationwide, most of them in the Midwest.
There is some good news. Gas prices have dropped 8 cents in the last week after the U.S. and other countries tapped into emergency oil reserves. And when it comes to inflation, many experts predict the inflation rate will peak by summer. Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.
And here at home, another San Antonio tradition coming back. The city will lift its curfew for camping this Easter holiday, and that begins Thursday at 11 p.m. So people usually rope off their camping space at the park for the holiday, and that's something people couldn't do for 2 years because of the pandemic. So if you plan to participate this weekend, you can check out the full list of eligible parks on KSAT.com.
Right now it's 5:08, about 71 degrees.
And still ahead, we're going to tell you why more than 14,000 sellers on Etsy are going on strike.
And up next, we're checking out a local restaurant that didn't do so well on their latest inspection. It's part of Behind the Kitchen Door.
And a look outside with live cam, a little drizzle, and the roads are definitely wet this morning, so take caution as you head out. We'll be right back.
This morning, we're going behind the kitchen door. Improvised ice baths and a green fuzzy buildup found at a taco house.
The restaurant now ordered to undergo another inspection. So Rocky's Taco House is on the corner of Couples Road and Academy Street on the city's southwest side. Metro Health gave the restaurant a score of 79 after a visit last month. They found a fuzzy green buildup on a towel that was transferred to the cutting board it was sitting on. Metro Health also noted a need for a cooling unit because the restaurant was using makeshift ice baths instead. So inspectors tested some of the food in those ice bins, and it did not meet standards.
We're also keeping track of some of the best scores among restaurants in the San Antonio area. We have a list of businesses that recently got perfect scores on the inspections. Take a look in our Behind the Kitchen Door section on KSAT.com.
And time now, 5:13 and 71 degrees for now.
Still had details on a new kind of DoorDash feature made just for students.
Plus, Netflix viewers now have a new way they can mark movies they really enjoy.
Welcome to Allstate, where everyone saves when they bundle their home and auto insurance. Isn't that right, Frank?
I saved 25%. Booyah.
You protected your casa?
Sure did.
And the Frank tank?
You know it.
And now you're relaxing.
I'm working from home.
Sure you are.
All right, I see a lot of head nods. Let's circle back tomorrow.
You aren't kidding. Save up to 25% when you bundle home and auto with Allstate. Click or call for a quote today.
You won't faze me. Unlike Zyrtec, Allegra won't make me drowsy.
And Allegra starts working 2 times faster than Claritin.
So when allergies attack,
take Allegra before your symptoms take over you. And for congestion relief, find Allegra D at your pharmacy.
I recommend Nature Made vitamins because I trust their quality. They were the first to be verified by USP, an independent organization that sets strict quality and purity standards. Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist recommended vitamin and supplement brand.
5:16. Good morning and welcome back. Thousands of Etsy sellers are closing up shop this weekend, going on strike. ABC's Andrew Dimbert has details in today's Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, thousands of vendors who sell on Etsy are going on strike to protest a fee hike. They're halting sales and asking customers not to buy from the platform for a week. Etsy is now requiring sellers to pay 6.5% commission on transactions, up from 5%. Etsy says it's raising fees to make improvements for its sellers. DoorDash has come up with a special treat for students. College students can enroll in a special plan which costs $5 per month and includes some perks like cash back and unlimited free delivery on orders above $12. Finally, a new Love This feature for Netflix is the biggest change to the streaming service's rating system in some 5 years. When you're done watching something you really liked on Netflix, you can give it 2 thumbs up instead of just 1. I try not to be too judgmental as a general rule of thumb. Those are your Tech Bites. Have a great day.
All right, Andrew.
Hi. Good morning.
Good morning.
5:17.
Let's go ahead and check back with Stephen Cavazos about the problems we were having on I-10.
Yeah, and I'll just give Andrew 1 thumbs up for that one there. Give A for effort. Let's get a look around town. Obviously, we know that it has been a pretty hectic morning out for some drivers, but elsewhere, it does look like more we can see some wet roads out in a few of these shots at TransGuide. There's 281 at 410, but US 90 at Couples. What I'm seeing in a lot of these camera are a few of these droplets, and of course, Justin can tell us more about that in a moment, but as a precaution, take it slow. That's always the best way to go. US 90 Nogalitos traffic moving there, but the big issue, as I mentioned, is going to be over here off of I-10 at Brazos, where we did have that 18-wheeler that caught fire earlier this morning, actually just before midnight. So we know that first responders have been out there for quite a while. In fact, this was definitely causing issues for many of us here at the station who were trying to get to the downtown area. What I can tell you right now is that the lower level and the upper level at I-10 traveling eastbound is going to be closed there at Brazos for some time as they're trying to get this all cleared up. Not clear if the driver faced any injuries. We hope that they're okay, but of course you see that buildup there along I-10 eastbound at Brazos. Again, the upper level and lower level is going to be closed off. And as a precaution, they've also closed the lower level westbound lanes at Frio Street, so that way they can make sure drivers are safe if they have to head up westbound. Quick alternative route. This is still early enough to exit Fresno and get onto San Pedro Avenue if you need to head into the downtown San Antonio area, but keep in mind there is a crash that was picked up right there on San Pedro, so make sure that you are watching for first responders. Elsewhere, it looks like we're in great shape, but the big problem, as I mentioned, is going to be right over here, I-10 at Brazos. Not clear when this is going to be all, we're going to see the tail end of this, but of course we're going to be watching it very closely and we'll get you through it.
Thank you, Stephen.
Yeah. Thank you. And Justin, looks like we have a history lesson behind you.
Yeah, we're going to take a little bit of a look at history this morning. Today is the anniversary of the Rock Springs tornado, and I bring this up. It was an F5 tornado back on April 12th, 1927. 74 people lost their life in this tornado. But this is the anniversary of that. And I bring this up to tell you that this is the time of year where we do have to watch out for severe weather. And of course, Rock Springs, there are still some people who actually remember this tornado. We interviewed somebody who was lived through that a few years back. But this is the time of year. You see some of the other tornadoes here, May and April. It's a busy time as we head into the spring. And we do have the potential for a few more thunderstorms here locally as we get into this afternoon. 71 right now. We've got some light rain coming down. It's damp out there. We've got some slick roads and spots, and we're going to have some fog, some drizzle, just kind of overall dampness. And as you look at the radar, there's not a lot there to look at. We've had a few showers along the coast. We see some light returns out there around Del Rio and Eagle Pass. But this basically just amounts to that sort of drizzly situation that we have going on. And the visibility, it's been going back and forth. But there is some fog there. Castroville, Port SA over towards Hondo. I don't expect a ton of fog today. Also, winds are trying to pick up, so that tends to keep the fog at bay. But we've got some gusts potentially today, up around 25, maybe 30 miles per hour. So it will be somewhat of a breezy, windy day. Of course, that poses an issue out west where things are dry, and we're going to get some dry air coming in here. Red flag warnings in effect for our western counties. And basically all of West Texas is under the gun today for a fire threat, an extreme fire threat across the Texas Panhandle. There could be several grass fires today. That's on the west side of the dry line where things are very dry. On the east side of it, we've got a lot of moisture. That means the potential for severe weather. And this is a large area that could see severe weather today, stretching from Nebraska all the way back down to San Antonio. Best chances across Texas will be Waco to Dallas, but even here we could see some scattered strong storms. And you see the risk there on a scale of 1 to 5, about a 2, as that dry line comes in later today. Not everyone will see rain. This is one of those situations where I think we'll see isolated storms, but any storm that develops will have the potential to be strong to severe. By midday, these showers that we've got going on right now start to push east. Here comes a dry line. This particular model blows up a storm there right along the dry line around 5 p.m. Time frame we need to watch. Doesn't mean that's exactly where storms will develop, but it's possible again later today. By 8 p.m., a lot of that activity is starting to push east. Things quiet down overnight. We get a front coming through tomorrow. And what that does is bring in some very dry air and gusty winds. So we switch the threat from storms back over to fire concerns, fire weather watch in effect tomorrow. This will likely turn into a red flag warning, including San Antonio. So as we look at temperatures today, we think temperatures will make it up into the 80s by midday, and then by this afternoon into the low 90s. There could be some triple digits, though, on the map. With the dry air out west, 101. The forecast high in Carrizo Springs. Extended forecast. We'll go 94 tomorrow with that fire danger, still windy. 88 Thursday, 85 for Good Friday. We have added in some small rain chances over Easter weekend as well.
Thank you, Justin. 522, about 71 degrees on your Tuesday morning.
And coming up next in your morning spotlight, an iconic Kurt Cobain guitar is up for sale, plus a first look at the new documentary called Women of the White Buffalo.
A guitar from one of the most iconic music videos of all time is going on the auction block.
CNN's David Daniel has that and more in today's Hollywood Minute.
Kurt Cobain's guitar from Nirvana's Smells Like Teen Spirit video could be yours. Julianne's Auctions is putting the 1969 left-handed Fender Mustang on the block as part of its Music Icons event May 20th through the 22nd. The auction house says a conservative starting estimate for the bidding is $600,000. Part of the proceeds will go to Kicking the Stigma, an initiative which aims to raise awareness about mental health disorders.
We heal through conversation, we heal through connection, we heal through our culture. The solution is going to come from hearts of the women coming together to heal.
The documentary Women of the White Buffalo focuses on modern-day Native women living on reservations, working to keep their communities, culture, and traditions alive, despite everything from colonialism and genocide to poverty and addiction. The award-winning film looks at both the horrors they face and the hope they provide their people. Women of the White Buffalo premieres on VOD Tuesday. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
And time now is 5:27 and 71 degrees for now.
Still ahead on GMSA, the CDC is set to release a new framework this week for mask rules when it comes to aircraft. We have details on their announcement.
Plus, get ready for a new Baskin-Robbins. We're going to tell you what changes they're making along with some new ice cream flavors.
And Krispy Kreme is tired of high gas prices too, so they're selling a dozen donuts at a special price. Details on that coming up.
Using the phone while you're behind the wheel, it may not seem like a big deal. However, it is more deadly than you might think. That's ahead on GMSA at 6.
Making headlines this morning, details of what the CDC is set to announce this week when wearing masks on planes and in other modes of public transportation.
And taking a look outside with live cam, you're going to have to watch out for those little raindrops, and it is wet there on the roadways.
Hey, good morning to you. It is Tuesday, April 12th.
Thanks for joining us today. I hope you're being safe out there. If you're headed to work already, let's go ahead and check in with Justin Horn.
Hey, good morning, guys. Pollen count yesterday was not pretty. Oak leads the way again, 5,750. Boy, it's been a bad oak season. Molds are moderate. A lot of us suffering from that oak. Kevin, I'm looking at you. It's been a rough stretch for all of us. Hopefully those oak numbers come down a little bit. We have some damp conditions this morning. 71 degrees at the airport, 70 Kerrville, 71 Hondo, 72 right now in New Braunfels, and some 60s Bandera over to Bernie Stage. That's about it. I mean, it's fairly warm out there with all that humidity in place. We're also seeing a little bit of fog here and there. I don't think this lasts very long. Winds are starting to pick up some, but there could be some spots where we have lower visibility. And obviously some of those roads are going to be slick. Stephen will talk more about that here in just a second. So our rain chances, how do they play out here? 30 to 40% chance through the morning time. Again, overall kind of damp. And then as we head towards the afternoon, we see some clearing. Will that lead to some thunderstorms? That's possible. We're going to add in a 30% chance of some storms, I'd say about 3 p.m. through the evening hours. Temperatures will be in the low 90s. Should those storms develop, there is a risk that they could be strong to severe, and that's something we'll be watching very, very closely. We're going to have an update on this, kind of time it out for you, show you where we think some of these storms may develop. That's coming up here in just a few minutes. But let's get over to Stephen now with a check on those roadways.
Well, it has been a pretty long night and early morning for these first responders. Justin, thank you. I-10 at Hildebrand. This is going to be a problem for an unseen amount of time. We know that first responders have shut down the upper and lower levels of I-10 going eastbound. Right here at Hildebrand, we can see that traffic is taking that exit onto the access roads. And as I mentioned, if you're just waking up with us, people at our station have actually been having to take detours coming into the downtown area because this is definitely already causing an issue for that early morning drive time. Let's go ahead and take you to the map because we do have that vehicle fire, an 18-wheeler that was reported to be on fire earlier this morning, just before midnight, actually. Right now, we have that detected in the eastbound lanes of I-10 at Brazos Street. Keep in mind that upper level and lower level are going to be closed. Again, not sure for how long, but showing you on our map, we're seeing that buildup that's just been continuing to grow. Keep in mind that the westbound lanes, if you're getting up westbound, the lower level at Frio Street is going to be closed as a precaution so first responders can get this all cleared up, hopefully before we start to see morning rush really kick in. Let's go ahead and show you that wide view of the map. Thankfully, not seeing problems detected anywhere else, but as Justin mentioned, the roads are slick, damp in some areas, so take it slow. That's the best way to go, especially on a morning like this. Thankfully, no need to rush if you're traveling into San Antonio. Still pretty green from Seguin with 29 minutes to downtown San Antonio, 22, pardon me, if you're traveling on 87 northbound. And right now we're looking at just 28 minutes coming up from Floresville. So no rush there. Take it easy. And again, take it easy right here. We're going to show you some alternative routes and make sure you plan your commute ahead of time, especially before you head out the door. Guys.
Thank you, Stephen. New this morning, it seems there was no way out for a man who was hit by a train on the city's northeast side. San Antonio police found his body overnight on the railroad tracks near Interstate 35 and Loop 410. Katrina Weber is there with a live report. And Katrina, how did this happen?
Yes, good morning. San Antonio police tell us that that man was sleeping on the tracks when the train came along. Now, it happened on this elevated section of the railroad track, so even if the man had woken up, there was no escape for him. Police found the aftermath of that situation, an especially gory scene is what they tell us when they arrived around 12:30 this morning. They immediately shut down that area while they and Union Pacific investigators did their jobs. All railroad traffic was stopped during that time. Now it appears that area may be open again, but at this point, police have not released any information about the man who was killed. But just a little while ago, I was speaking to a man who told me he's very familiar with this area. He says that just beyond these bushes here, there is a homeless encampment, and he has seen people from that encampment walking back and forth across these railroad tracks. We still don't know at this point why, though, that man was asleep on the tracks. Reporting live on the northeast side, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Katrina. Commercial traffic at a key South Texas border crossing is stopped after Mexican truck drivers blocked north and southbound lanes on the Mexico side of the FAR Reynosa International Bridge on Monday.
The truck drivers are protesting Governor Greg Abbott's enhanced commercial vehicle inspections order for trucks coming in from Mexico. And Sarah Costa joins us live in the studio. And Sarah, what kind of backup is this protest causing?
Well, it's causing a traffic mess, and this backup actually started before the protest. It started last week after Governor Greg Abbott ordered to have state troopers inspect northbound commercial vehicles coming in from Mexico, historically a job done by the federal government. So those inspections led to some major backups at several of the border bridges. One driver says he's been waiting in a miles-long line at the FAR Reynosa International Bridge since Friday. Abbott's order is in response to President Biden's announcement to end Title 42. That's a pandemic-era emergency health order that lets federal officials turn away migrants at the border without a chance to request asylum. Now, Abbott said the need for these inspections is to stop drug cartels that he says uses trucks to smuggle humans and drugs into the U.S. Truck drivers said Monday they're tired of waiting for days in those miles-long lines that stretches as far as the Reynosa airport, prompting that protest on Monday. The backups could impact the flow of produce to restaurants and grocery stores, increasing prices. While many companies cross perishable foods in refrigerated trucks, the bottlenecks could lead to equipment failures that cause produce and other products to spoil in the heat. So prior to Abbott's order, one truck driver told a Mexican news outlet that he used to make 2 crossings into the U.S. a day. Now he says he'd be lucky to have 1 or 2 in a week, given these long delays at the bridges. Mark and Stephanie.
5:37 right now. Are you ready to catch a flight or get on a bus without wearing a mask? The White House says it's deciding whether or not to let you do so.
It says the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention will release a framework for the decision this week. CNN's Amy Kiley explores some of the factors that might be at play.
I think everything is still on the table.
The federal public transportation mask mandate expires Monday unless the Biden administration extends it. The White House says the CDC will release a new framework within days to help it make that decision.
We don't want to prejudge this. We want to look at what the evidence says and what the framework shows, and then use that as a decision-making tool.
Right now, people have to wear masks when using public methods of travel, like planes and trains. They also have to wear them in hubs, like airports and ferry terminals. Many U.S. airlines say they'd like the mask mandate to end, but cases are starting to tick up in some parts of the country. Philadelphia is the first major U.S. city to reinstate its mask mandate for indoor public spaces.
If we wait to find out and to put our masks back on, we'll have lost our chance to stop the wave.
Not everyone likes that idea.
I'm not a supporter of these mandates. What I'm a supporter of is educating and empowering the public so that they can make responsible decisions. But I think those kinds of mandates are counterproductive, particularly at this time.
Of course, when it comes to traveling safely, location matters. The CDC says a trip to most countries in Europe would be very high risk right now. Even countries it classifies as low risk might have complications on the ground. After all, that's how the CDC categorizes China. But Shanghai is under a strict COVID-19 lockdown. I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
2021 appears to have been a dangerous year to walk, at least the first half of it. Newly released numbers by the Governor's Highway Safety Association from the first 6 months of 2021 showed the rate of pedestrians killed by drivers increased by 17%. The analysis estimates more than 3,400 pedestrians were killed in the first part of last year. 37% of the deaths happened in California, Florida, and Texas. In the last 5 years, TxDOT says more than 3,000 pedestrians have died on Texas roads.
And jury selection is underway in Johnny Depp's defamation case against his ex-wife. The actor brought the $50 million lawsuit against Amber Heard after she wrote a Washington Post op-ed in 2018 claiming she was a victim of domestic abuse. Now, Depp's name is not mentioned in that piece, but he argues that Heard's allegations led to financial losses for him. That includes him being dropped from future Pirates of the Caribbean films after he led the franchise for 15 years. Now, while the lawsuit was filed back in 2018, the trial is just now set to get underway this week in Fairfax County, Virginia.
Country singer Billy Ray Cyrus' wife Tish has filed for divorce after more than 28 years of marriage. Court documents indicate she filed last week in Tennessee, citing irreconcilable differences. According to the filing, the couple's been living separately for more than 2 years. Both have filed for divorce in the past, Billy Ray in 2010, Tish in 2013, but they reconciled both times. After that 2013 filing, Billy Ray gave a statement to Us Weekly saying they went into couples therapy and grew closer. They have 5 adult children together.
And time now is 5:40 and 70 degrees for now.
Still ahead, Baskin-Robbins is getting a logo facelift for the first time in years, plus a few more flavors to choose from.
Also next, important information from health experts if your kid's asthma is being impacted by seasonal allergies.
Speaking of, let's go outside right now. There's a lot of stuff in the air right now. A ton of allergens, oak pollen, a ton of humidity, some clouds, and showers right now. The roads are wet. Yeah, go ahead and grab an umbrella this morning as you head out the door. We'll get an update on that chance of storms with Justin. 5:43, good morning. If you're having allergy problems right now, it's easy to blame the oak pollen covering South Texas. Add in asthma, and it could be even worse.
Ursula Perry shows how complicated it can be to treat, especially for children.
I'm able to do cartwheels, splits, back bends.
Amna is finally able to get the air she needs. That's amazing because since she was 1 month old, she had trouble breathing.
It was terrifying. I thought my baby was going to die. As she got older, they were trying different injections, different medications. She was on 5 inhalers.
Anya was also allergic to dust, grass, pollen, dander, and pets.
You name it, she was allergic to it.
She used to be hospitalized almost once a month. Last year, the Westbrooks, though, were referred to Pop-Up, the Pulmonary and Allergy Personalized Asthma Clinic. Pediatric pulmonologists and allergists working together to wean Amna off of a high volume of steroids.
We came up with a strategy where we were using a combination inhaler that we used several times a day initially to get her under control.
When we did our most recent virtual visit with her, she was actually on a bouncy ball, hopping up and down on the bouncy ball throughout the visit.
Her doctors also are teaching behavioral changes, steps that she can take first before grabbing that inhaler.
I take deep breaths. I do that a couple times and it helps.
She can be a child, you know, and live a normal life.
Anya's doctors also worked with the family to make lifestyle changes and also to help her to recognize those things that trigger her allergies and asthma. As for simple things you can do, close your doors and windows to pollen and try and get enough sleep so that your immune system is boosted. Ursula Perry, KSAT 12 News.
5:45, 70 degrees.
And coming up next, how Krispy Kreme is trying to make the rising cost of gas a little more bearable. Hi, welcome back. It's 5:48 in your morning consumer headlines. Baskin-Robbins gets a facelift. The ice cream chain has a new logo and employee uniforms. This is the first major shift the company says it has made since 2006. So in addition to the new look, there are 3 new flavors that will be available for a limited time. They are non-dairy mint Choco Chunk, peanut butter based totally unwrapped, and coconut swirl.
Price of gas may be hitting you hard, but Krispy Kreme wants to sweeten things a little bit. For the next 4 weeks, the chain will sell a dozen of its glazed donuts for the same price as a gallon of gasoline. It's only on Wednesdays, and Krispy Kreme will use the national average gas price from the previous Monday to determine the price. So that means tomorrow, a dozen glazed donuts at Krispy Kreme should cost $4.11. That's a pretty darn good deal, considering they usually set you back about $10. This promotion at Krispy Kreme ends May 4th.
And first we had problems on I-10. Now we're looking at problems at 281 in Hildebrand. So let's go ahead and check in with Stephen Cavazos.
It just seems like that switch has gone off. Mark, Stephanie, another problem reported, this time here off of 281 at Hildebrand. Let's get a closer look. I want to step out of the shot so I can explain what's going on here. We do have first responders that are out there on the scene, and you can see, if you are waking up with us at home, that there is a turnover vehicle, a rollover crash that was reported. We are hoping that that driver is okay, but it doesn't look like this is involving any other vehicles. First responders are working on and walking on a few of those lanes. So we got to make sure if you are traveling and you see any of those flashing lights that you do drive carefully. The roads are damp and wet in some of these areas. So take it easy. This is not clear how this crash happened either, but we know that this will definitely cause some problems because it's not clear how long it will take to clear that crash. Now, let's go ahead and take you to the map. US 281 southbound is already starting to see that buildup right there at Hildebrand where the crash was reported. We're going to watch it closely, but another area we are keeping an eye on is right over here. I-10 eastbound at Brazos. There was an 18-wheeler that was reported to have caught fire just before midnight, and this is definitely impacting the eastbound lanes of I-10. Right there, the upper and lower level at Brazos Street is going to be closed for an unseen amount of time. We also know that the westbound lower level at Frio Street is closed as a precaution. So it looks like Tuesday's traffic is starting off with a troubling start, but as we get that wide look at the map, thankfully we see more green than we do congestion or red anywhere else. But again, that can quickly change if people are not taking it slow. This is definitely going to be an issue for anybody that's heading southbound on 281. Mark, we talked about this just a few moments ago. It's right at that curve where people sometimes don't take it slow. So make sure that you are driving carefully.
Well, here's the good news. That wrecker literally just pulled up behind you there at 281.
So progress and big shout out to those first responders.
But since it's kind of there and they're going to have to maneuver to get that thing upright, all of southbound is shut down for the time being. Yep.
Yeah. Hopefully that driver's okay.
Thank you, Stephen.
Yeah, those roads are just kind of damp enough where they're a little bit slick. You start seeing that drizzle. It makes it a little tough. We've had some of the slight drizzle, light shower activity, a little bit of fog here and there this morning. So it's kind of a damp morning commute. And temperatures at 71 degrees at the airport. Dew point is at 69. I mean, the air is super thick. Southeasterly winds at 11 miles per hour. And we look at the radar. There are some light returns out there. Nothing that jumps off the page, but that's enough to create some of that light sheen on the roadway. And I think we'll continue to see some of these light showers work their way through the area. Temperature-wise, 72 degrees New Braunfels, 69 Kerrville, 72 out in Uvalde. We are at 70 in Helotes, 74 Stinson, 70 over there at Randolph with cloudy skies. And there has been some visibility issues. You get up towards Birdie Stage, maybe down to Castroville and Hondo, a little bit of fog. Should not be a huge issue today. We're starting to see winds pick up some. And wind gusts, by the way, in the 20 to 25 mile per hour range. It's going to jump around a little bit, but I think that's sort of the general idea here with the winds out of the south. So a gusty day, and that's going to lead to a fire danger out west. We've got some red flag warnings posted for our western counties. And boy, I think it's going to be a really bad fire day for West Texas, where they have an extreme fire risk later today. Gusty west winds, very dry up there in the Texas Panhandle. Not what you want to see. That's west of the dry line. Of course, that dry line separates very dry air from very moist air, where we have the humid conditions. Severe weather, a possibility today. So these areas you see outlined here in sort of this pink and red color, that represents places where severe weather is a possibility, most notably Waco to Dallas. But even here, a scattered chance of some strong to severe storms. Something we'll watch. It's going to be a matter of, can we get storms going along the dry line? Can we break the cap? If we do, the potential is there for some stronger storms, and hail and gusty winds would be the main threat. So let's look at the futurecast here. Some showers coming through this morning. This is around midday, still cloudy, but then we get some breaks, and along the dry line, that's where we could see a storm erupt anywhere along the dry line. And again, if it does, you could have a strong storm. We could have a severe storm on our hands. That quickly moves east by 8 p.m. We get clouds building back in overnight. Then a front comes through tomorrow, and that brings a high fire risk for the entire area. Dry air pours in on your Wednesday. We get gusty winds. Fire weather watch is already in effect. That likely turns into a red flag warning by tomorrow. So we've got decent chances of some light rain, some showers this morning. Then we'll see lesser chances midday and then pick up a little bit with some isolated showers and storms this afternoon. We'll go with a high in the low 90s. Tomorrow, 94. It's hot despite that front coming through. 80s Thursday and Friday and some small rain chances over Easter weekend. We'll keep you posted there. As of right now, I don't think it's going to mess up your Easter plans, but we do need to watch because, again, storms this time of year we know that they tend to get a little out of hand sometimes. So we'll be here for you. We'll let you know. KSAT weather app, always a good thing to have.
All right, we'll watch out for it. Thank you, Justin.
Got it.
Right now, 5:54, about 70 degrees.
And let's look at your winning lotto numbers. There's pick 3, 355, Fireball 7, Daily 4, 1245, Fireball 6.
And here are your Cash 5 numbers: 4, 7, 12, 27, 29, Texas 2-step 11, 15, 32, 33, bonus ball of 32, and Powerball, your numbers: 5, 7, 24, 31, 34. Powerball 4, Power Play was 2. Good luck.
Good morning. Coming up here on GMA, the latest on the war in Ukraine. Russian forces massing in the east, and we're learning more about the devastating toll of the war. You're going to see that and so much more coming up right here on Good Morning America.
Much more to come in our next hour, GMSA, including this stunning video of a fiery truck crash in the state of Minnesota. Amazingly, that truck's driver walked away after the explosion. We'll have more. And TransGuide right now, one of our incidents is close to the downtown area, southbound 281 at Hildebrand. Looks like traffic is now getting by in at least one lane there, but we had an overturned vehicle. Steve will have an update on that. Slick roads could be a problem all morning long, and we'll talk to Justin about our potential severe weather threat. This morning, the search is on for a suspect connected to a deadly shooting on the city's west side. We'll have those details.
The war in Ukraine is reaching a pivotal moment in violence. I'm Micah Jaji reporting in Washington. Coming up, why world leaders fear chemical weapons were used.
And a look outside with live cam. We had some rain this morning, so be careful with those wet roadways. We're at 70 degrees.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Rise and shine with us. Good morning, everybody. It is Tuesday, April 12th.
Thanks for joining us today. If you want to grab coffee, maybe leave a little earlier because we're having some problems on the roadways.
We are, and we're going to talk to Stephen Cavazos in just 1 second about that. We've had at least 1 or 2 incidents already this morning, but Justin's here. 1, do we need an umbrella? And what is the possibility we could see some storms ramp up quickly later today?
Okay, so to answer your first question, maybe it's the drizzly stuff. So if that bothers you, if it bothers your hair, grab an umbrella. It's not the kind of rain that's going to fill up your rain gauge, okay? It's the light drizzly stuff. And as far as the answer to your second question, yes, possibilities there for some strong storms, mainly this afternoon and this evening, and something we'll be watching very closely. The radar right now doesn't show us a whole lot. Just some very light stuff working through. That's that drizzly stuff we were talking about. And we have seen a little bit of fog as well. So we'll just call it damp. That's kind of the situation outside. 72 New Braunfels, 69 Kerrville, 71 in Hondo, 74 in Pleasanton. Cloudy there, and temperatures a little closer here locally. 72 Castroville, 69 in Devine. It's warm, it's humid. That's the bottom line. Visibility still down around Castroville and Bernie Stage. Those are the 2 areas where there is a little bit of fog being reported. Not much here around San Antonio, and I don't think it's going to be a big issue today. Temperatures make their way into the low 80s by noontime. And eventually, once we see some sun, which I think we will this afternoon, we make it up to 91 here in town. And yes, there could be some triple digits on the map out west in places like Carrizo Springs. A hot day. Things change tomorrow after we have that potential for some storms this afternoon. Some drier air works in, which means we have to worry about the fire concerns again on Wednesday. A lot to look at there. We're going to have the 7-day forecast coming up in just a bit. But Steven has got the latest on these updates on all of these wrecks. What's going on?
I'm going to call this a triple T kind of morning, a trouble in traffic Tuesday morning. And we really do mean that. 281 at almost. Let's go ahead and bring it in closer because this is a view where we're starting to see some of those road flares that our first responders are placing out there because they are working to clear a rollover crash on those southbound lanes. Now, we did see from before we went to commercial that did appear a wrecker arrived on the scene. And from what I'm looking at, they are in the process of clearing that out. However, traffic is already starting to build. We see those road flares are still out there. A few lanes of traffic. 1 lane right now is getting through there, but that buildup is just continued to grow in the southbound lanes right at Hildebrand of 281. An area we're going to watch closely. Another spot not too far from there that has not improved that vehicle fired, the 18-wheeler that caught fire just before midnight in those eastbound lanes of I-10 right there at Brazos Street. We can tell you right now that the upper level and lower level are going to be closed for an unseen amount of time. I can tell you also, if you're just waking up with us, the downtown area, if you have to head onto I-10, this will definitely cause some major issues for your early morning drive. We're going to look at different routes as the morning does go on, but a place that you don't want to be right now. Keep in mind, those lower levels at the westbound lanes of I-10 at Frio Street also closed as a precaution, but you shouldn't have too much trouble getting through there. Let's go ahead and give you that wide look at the map. Elsewhere, looking like they're in great shape. Those roads are still green, so remember to take it easy. As Justin mentioned, those roads are slick out there, so take it slow. That's the best way to go. And thankfully, no need to rush if you are traveling into San Antonio from any of these communities. 28 minutes, that is 37 northbound coming in from Pleasanton, 19 on Highway 90 traveling in from Castroville, and 16 minutes coming up 35 northbound from Lytle. Again, big problem here, 281. Hopefully we're seeing the end of this, but we know we got to watch I-10 closely. Again, we'll look for alternative routes coming up in the next few minutes. Make sure you have your phones handy as well. Stephanie?
Thank you, Stephen. Police need your help finding the person responsible for shooting and killing a man on the city's west side back in March.
Crime Stoppers has released surveillance photos of the car they say the shooter drove off in. Sarah Costa joins us now from the newsroom with the latest.
Good morning, Mark. Good morning, Stephanie. Yeah, police say that man was shot in the head in that drive-by shooting that happened in the evening of March 25th on the city's west side. Just take a look at your screen. Here are photos police have for their investigation. So these are the pictures grabbed from surveillance video the night of the shooting, along with a picture of the man that was killed. You see a black Chevrolet Malibu on your screen. I know it's a little difficult to see. Police say they believe that was the car the shooter was in when he shot 28-year-old Juan Mendoza. The shooting happened around 7 p.m. Friday, March 25th. Police say Mendoza was in the driver's seat of his car and stopped at a red light on El Paso Street and South General McMullen Drive. That's when investigators say the driver of the black Malibu pulled up and shot the 28-year-old once in the head and then drove off. A woman was sitting in the passenger seat of Mendoza's car when he was shot. She was not hurt, but investigators say she is the only witness in this shooting and could not provide any information on exactly what happened. So if you know any information about the suspect involved, you are urged to call Crime Stoppers at number 224-STOP. If your information leads up to an arrest, you may be able to earn up to $5,000 in cash. You also may remain anonymous. Mark and Stephanie.
Thank you, Sarah. That massive wildfire continues to burn at Joint Base San Antonio Camp Olis. Right now, it's about 70% contained. The fire's burned through more than 3,000 acres since it started on Saturday. Authorities say recent rainfall and humid conditions have helped contain the fire. At this time, they still don't know what started it.
Some other top stories we are following. A man is dead this morning after he was struck by a vehicle just north of downtown. And police say a driver hit the man in his 70s while he was traveling down Broadway near Eleanor. The man died at the scene. Officers tell us the driver stopped to try and help. The victim's identity has not been released.
Commercial traffic at the Texas-Mexico border is halted temporarily due to an ongoing protest on the Mexican side. It's happening at the Far Reynosa International Bridge, a major port of entry for the border that handles commercial and passenger vehicles. Right now, there is no southbound movements by U.S. carriers, and drivers are protesting what they say excessive wait times and delays, especially on the American side of the border.
The U.S. has ordered all non-emergency government staff to leave Shanghai, which is under a tight lockdown to contain a COVID-19 surge. Many residents in the city of 26 million have been confined to their homes for up to 3 weeks as China maintains its zero COVID strategy of handling outbreaks with strict isolation. People living under the restrictions have described it increasingly desperate situation with families unable to obtain food and daily necessities.
We're getting a first look at the guns and other gear seized by federal authorities from the two men who the Department of Justice says were impersonating Homeland Security agents. The two men arrested last week accused of ingratiating themselves with two federal agents for 2 years, giving them expensive gifts, including rent-free apartments. During a detention hearing Monday and in court documents earlier, defense attorneys for the two argued the Justice Department was overblowing their actions. Attorneys for one of the men says he genuinely believed he was acting on behalf of the Department of Homeland Security.
In Ukraine, devastating new images coming out of the port city of Mariupol showing the extent of brutality from Russian troops. Thousands of bodies lining the streets and now possible evidence of a chemical attack. ABC's Ike Ajachi is in Washington with more.
Good morning. If the use of chemical weapons in Ukraine is confirmed, it can represent a major escalation in this war. The Pentagon is closely monitoring unconfirmed reports of Russian troops using chemical weapons in Ukraine. A paramilitary group incorporated into Ukraine's National Guard accuses Russian forces of using a drone to drop a poisonous substance in the city of Mariupol. Last month, NATO Secretary General said the use of chemical weapons would totally change the nature of this conflict.
And it will be a blatant violation of international law and will have far-reaching consequences.
As many as 20,000 people have been killed in Mariupol, according to the mayor. Outside the capital, Kyiv, Ukrainian authorities are now focused on clearing mines. President Zelensky says before they withdrew, Russian soldiers set armed traps throughout the region. ABC's James Longman saw the danger firsthand.
This was a school that was being used by Russian troops. You see this string, it leads onto the front door there, and there could very well be a trap on the other side of there, a charge waiting to explode.
Austria's chancellor saying he was not particularly optimistic after his talk with Putin yesterday. This conflict is having a tremendous effect on children. The UN now says nearly 2/3 of Ukrainian children have now fled their homes. Ike Ajachi, ABC News, Washington.
In your morning consumer news, investors heading into what could be another down day at the opening bell. Overnight futures pointing to a lower open after market slid again Monday. The S&P losing 1.7%, the Dow closing off 1.2%, and the Nasdaq shedding 2.2%. Tech and energy stocks are leading the retreats.
Honda getting ready to hit the accelerator on electric vehicles. The car maker now says it plans to spend $64 billion on research and development over the next decade. It plans to roll out 30 electric vehicles around the world by 2030.
And another Kmart is about to close. One of the 4 remaining locations will close its doors for good Saturday, leaving one each in New York, New Jersey, and Florida. At one point, Kmart had over 2,000 stores, including quite a few right here in San Antonio. Remember those days?
I do remember.
The blue light special.
Yeah, no more.
No more. 6:11, about 70 degrees.
And we have much more to come, including a jaw-dropping fiery truck crash, all caught on camera. That's coming up a little later on GMSA.
And inflation hitting the U.S. economy and your wallets and purses. Just ahead, how the Biden administration plans to respond.
And a quick look outside with a live cam. Kind of wet out there. We had some storms earlier this morning. I should say showers. We're going to be checking in with Justin to see what we can expect for the rest of your day.
Just about 6:15. Welcome back. We turn now to your money and the growing concern about the toll that inflation is taking on the U.S. economy.
A report this morning is expected to show that inflation has hit a new high, the worst since 1981. And there's word that President Biden is about to take new action on one big concern, the price of gas.
ABC's Andrew Dembert has more.
Economists are sounding the alarm about today's report on inflation.
It's going to be pretty ugly.
The Labor Department is expected to report that inflation just hit its highest level since 1981, rising at an annual rate of 8.4% in March, up from 7.9% in February.
Wages are closer to 6%, so inflation is faster than wage growth. That's not good. That means people's purchasing power is declining. They're not able to buy as much as they did a year ago.
The White House says previous inflation reports did not factor in the jump in oil prices brought on partly by the war in Ukraine.
We expect March CPI headline inflation to be extraordinarily elevated due to Putin's price hike.
Many economists warn we could see a recession by the end of next year due to the rising cost of goods and the Federal Reserve raising key interest rates in the coming months.
It's in this kind of environment, high inflation, high interest rates, when things kind of go off the rails and recessions can occur. People are already pretty nervous, but if they lose faith and run for the bunker and stop spending, stop hiring, stop doing what they typically do, that would be a recession.
Surging food and energy costs have been the driving forces behind the record inflation. Today, President Biden is visiting Iowa, where he's expected to focus on gas prices. According to the Des Moines Register, the president is announcing a plan to allow the year-round sale of gasoline made with 15% ethanol, a less expensive blend usually banned during the summer due to pollution concerns. The move could lower prices at the pump by as much as 10 cents, but few gas stations actually sell that blend. Only about 2% of stations nationwide, most of them in the Midwest. There is some good news. Gas prices have dropped 8 cents in the last week after the U.S. and other countries tapped into emergency oil reserves. And when it comes to inflation, many experts predict the inflation rate will peak by summer. Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.
6:17.
Let's go ahead and check back with Stephen Cavazos. It's been kind of busy.
Oh, it has been a busy morning. Mark, Stephanie, this is a situation, I-10 at Hildebrand. If you have been with us, you know that we've been talking about this for quite a while. What we're looking at here are first responders that have shut down a portion of I-10 going eastbound. Westbound lanes are fine in this direction, but what we're looking at is traffic being forced to take that exit off at Hildebrand due to a vehicle fire, an 18-wheeler actually that caught fire earlier this morning, just before midnight actually. So we know that they've been out there for quite a while, but this is already causing major issues for any drivers that may have to head into the downtown San Antonio area. Keep in mind, those lower levels and the upper levels at I-10 in the eastbound lanes are closed off right there at Brazos Street. And what's not improved is that slowdown. We've just kind of seen it stay consistently red and also continue to grow. So make sure that you are planning your commute. As I mentioned, we are looking at different routes, but we know that can change as the situation does tend to grow there in terms of congestion. Here's a quick detour. If you are traveling I-10 eastbound, you can take West Avenue and take the turnaround to get onto Bassey Road. That way you'll hit San Pedro Avenue and you can take that to avoid all that mess. But keep in mind, there are traffic lights out there, so it could take a little bit longer, but better be safe out there. Let's take a drive over here, 281 southbound at Hildebrand Avenue. We did have a crash, a rollover actually, that was reported a little bit earlier during the newscast, and thankfully it does look like first responders have cleared it out. Congestion, though, has not cleared out just yet. And as I mentioned yesterday, make sure that you have your phones handy. We want to give our viewers some time to grab their phones and scan this QR code. I've been pretty active on social media for the past few hours or so because we are posting the updates in terms of the commute. You can scan this QR code that will take you directly to the KSAT traffic page, and that will have the latest on anything that could cause you delays during your early morning drive. Let's head over to Justin. Lots of droplets on these TransGuide cameras too.
Yes, Stephen, it is a little damp out there this morning. We've had some drizzle, some light shower activity working through San Antonio as you're heading off to the bus stop this morning. You may want to grab the umbrella just in case. 70 degrees, a little drizzly, southeasterly winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. After school, we've got temperatures near 90. It's warm, it's humid. There is also the possibility of an isolated storm or two, and we're going to get into that forecast here in just a second. First, let's look at the radar. What do we have out there? Not much. You see these light returns at light green color representing just some of that light drizzle that's going to make it kind of damp in spots. Some of the roads could be a little bit wet. Temperatures definitely warm. 71 at the airport, 74 Pleasanton, 69 right now in Kerrville, 72 in New Braunfels, and we're looking at 69 right now in Bulverde. A little bit of fog on the west side of Bexar County and in Medina County. Hasn't been all that bad, but there could be a few spots where visibility drops below 2 miles for a time this morning. As we look outside, you can kind of see the haze there. 74 at Stinson, you're at 70 in Randolph, and the winds out of the southeast right now. We do have some red flag warnings in effect for some of our western counties today. That's where dry air is going to settle in. We'll get some westerly winds, and it's not just there. It's the entire western part of the state under the gun today for grass fires and wildfires. Could be a pretty significant day in that sense. That's on the dry side of things. We have a dry line setting up. Dry to the west of that, humid to the east, and in that humid air, that's where we could see severe weather. Decent chances of severe weather stretching from Dallas down I-35 to Austin. And even here around San Antonio, we have a chance for some scattered strong storms this evening. And it's going to be a matter of if these storms can break the cap. We have a little bit of a cap on the atmosphere that tends to suppress that thunderstorm activity. But if it can break through that cap, then these storms would pretty quickly become severe. And the threats would be hail and gusty winds, hail leading the way there. We'll be here for you tonight if these storms do develop. And here's what one of our Futurecast models is showing. showers through the lunch hour. And then by this afternoon, it does want to develop some storms along the dry line. So some questions as to exactly where that dry line will be. But again, if this does happen, then expect some severe thunderstorms. By 8 p.m., that is moving east and out of the area. And then by tomorrow morning, just a few more showers before dry air punches in from the north and west. And this poses a whole new threat. Then we have to worry about fire weather tomorrow. Fire weather watch in effect. This will likely become a red flag warning for San Antonio. Our forecast for today, as far as temperatures go, into the 80s by lunchtime. Clouds will stick around and then some breaks in those clouds by the afternoon and evening hours, pushing those temperatures up to 91 here in San Antonio. It'll be even hotter down to the south and west. Your extended forecast: 94 Wednesday, 88 Thursday, 85 Friday. We have put in some small rain chances over the weekend, although I don't think it's going to interrupt your Easter plans all that much. So we get a little bit closer, we'll be able to get you some better timing there, but there is a chance both Saturday and Sunday.
Thank you, Justin.
All right, time right now is 6:22, about 70 degrees.
And today on GMSA at 9, the new Techport Center and Arena at Port San Antonio is about to open soon on the southwest side. And we're getting an exclusive sneak peek at the Gaming Center.
That's right, that is coming up. And go Spurs go, the Silver and Black preparing for their biggest game of the season. We'll get you ready for Spurs Pelicans right after the break.
Why hide your skin? If Dupixent has your moderate to severe eczema or atopic dermatitis under control.
Hide my skin? Not me.
By hitting eczema where it counts, Dupixent helps heal your skin from within, keeping you one step ahead of eczema.
Hide my skin? Not me.
And that means long-lasting, clearer skin and fast itch relief for adults. With Dupixent, you can show more skin with less eczema.
Hide my skin? Not me.
Don't use if you're allergic to Dupixent. Serious allergic reactions can occur that can be severe. Tell your doctor about new or worsening eye problems such as eye pain or vision changes, including blurred vision, joint aches and pain, or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop asthma medicines without talking to your doctor. When you help heal your skin from within, you can change how your skin looks and feels. And that's the kind of change you notice. Talk to your eczema specialist about Dupixent, a breakthrough eczema treatment.
Welcome back. 6:26. The NBA regular season is over, and despite their struggles this year, the Spurs still have a chance to make the playoffs. But first, they'll need to get through the New Orleans Pelicans in the play-in games. Good news for the Spurs. They've beaten the Pelicans 3 out of 4 times this season, including 2 wins in New Orleans back in February and again in March. This is a do-or-die game for both teams, and the Pelicans do have home court advantage in this one. Should be a good one. Spurs Pelicans tip off tomorrow night, 8:30, Smoothie King Center in New Orleans. Again, the winner moves on. Loser will be eliminated from playoff contention. Good luck to our Spurs.
Yeah, go Spurs go. Maybe we'll catch a little bit of the beginning.
I'm hoping so. It is kind of late for us, though.
Yeah, it is. Time now, 6:26 and 70 degrees for now.
A man is dead this morning after he was hit by a train overnight. We'll have this story and much more in the next half hour of GMSA. A fiery highway truck crash caught on camera in Minnesota. We'll tell you what happened to the truck's driver.
And are you ready to take a flight without a mask now that the pandemic is winding down? We're going to tell you what White House officials are saying.
We've had some showers before sunrise here in the San Antonio area. Today's one of those days. We always recommend you get the Weather Authority app, but today it may come in extra handy. Good morning to you. It's Tuesday, the 12th.
Thanks for joining us today. Yeah, definitely need that light rain jacket when you're on the way out because it's still kind of humid out there.
It's very humid, and Justin is in for Mike talking about a chance for more storms in the forecast.
Some isolated storms this afternoon, and if we do see some storms, there's a good probability that they become severe, and that's why we got to watch it very closely. But outside right now, I just stepped outside. It feels like a sun out there. It feels kind of like summer. We've got temperatures in the 70s, a lot of humidity. It's going to be a little sticky this morning. Pollen count, this is yesterday's, 5,750 for oak, 910 moderate for molds. I would imagine these numbers are going to be pretty similar. Today we get that pollen count in here fairly soon, probably within the hour, and we'll pass it along to you once we get it. Radar shows some very light returns, nothing that has really amounted to much. I do still think we could see some showers coming in from the south and west throughout the morning hours before we get some clearing this afternoon. 71 degrees at the airport, 69 Kerrville, 71 Hondo, 74 in Pleasanton, warm and muggy, as I said, and it will turn into a pretty hot day. The forecast hour by hour here, we're going to keep in a 40% chance of rain through the morning time through 9 a.m. through about 10 a.m. or so, and then rain chances fall off a little bit midday. By 1 p.m., mostly cloudy, 20% chance of rain, 84. By the afternoon, though, in the evening hours, we're going to pick those rain chances back up just a little bit, 30% chance, temperatures up around 91. And this is that time frame where we could see a strong storm or two. Hail, gusty winds, the main threats. We'll have much more on that potential, plus our fire threat, which is going to kick in big time tomorrow. That's coming up in just a few minutes. But let's get over to Stephen now. It's kind of a hairy morning commute.
Yeah, hairy morning for sure. To I-10 at Hildebrand, let's talk about what we've been seeing here. If you are just waking up with us, we know that there is a situation that you want to be aware of. This is in the eastbound lanes of I-10. So if your job takes you through these lanes of traffic, you are seeing basically no vehicles there on the highway. That's because that portion has been shut down. What we are seeing are vehicles that are being forced to take this exit here at Hildebrand due to a vehicle fire, an 18-wheeler that caught fire just before midnight last night. So this is obviously causing major issues and delays for anybody that needs to navigate through those eastbound lanes. But keep in mind, the upper level and lower level of I-10 in those eastbound lanes is closed because first responders are still working to clear this mess up. Now, that vehicle fire happened here off Brazos Street. What we can also tell you is that the lower level in those westbound lanes of I-10 right there at Frio Street are closed as a precaution. But this is an area where you may want to just avoid it all in general because it's not clear how long we're going to see that congestion in that spot. Let's get that wide look at the map. It does look like we have a few stalls that popped up off of 410 and 35. We did have a crash off 281 southbound that looks like it is cleared out. So the main problem is going to be there along I-10 in those eastbound lanes. If you are traveling into San Antonio, we are already seeing some delays here on I-10 coming in from Bernie, 38 minutes to downtown San Antonio. So for our friends up there, we're looking at alternative routes. I have been tweeting up a storm on the KSAT traffic page. You can make sure you can head over there for all the latest. But right now, it does look like we are seeing some delays. 281, 29 minutes to downtown San Antonio. One last look at I-10 at Hildebrand. The situation hasn't improved, but we're going to watch it closely and look for those alternative routes. Mark, Stephanie.
Thank you, Stephen. New this morning, San Antonio police say a man was killed after being run over by a train overnight. SAPD says the man was sleeping on the tracks right above the ramp to the access road of I-35 near Loop 410 around 12:45 this morning. Police have not yet identified the man. No one else was hurt. Union Pacific Railroad was also responding to this situation.
And commercial traffic at a key South Texas border crossing has stopped after Mexican truck drivers blocked north and southbound lanes on the Mexico side of the Reynosa International Bridge on Monday.
The truck drivers are protesting Governor Greg Abbott's enhanced commercial vehicle inspection for trucks coming in from Mexico. Sarah Costa joins us now from the KSAT newsroom. Sarah, what kind of backups is this protest causing?
Mark and Steph, the backup actually started before this protest. It started last week after Governor Abbott ordered to have state troopers inspect northbound commercial vehicles from Mexico, historically a job done by federal government. Those inspections led to major backups at several of these border bridges. One driver says he has been waiting in a miles-long line at the Reynosa International Bridge since Friday. Abbott's order is in response to President Biden's announcement to end Title 42. That's a pandemic-era emergency health order that lets federal officials turn away migrants at the border without the chance to request asylum. Abbott said the need for these inspections is to stop drug cartels that he says uses trucks to smuggle humans and drugs into the U.S. Truck drivers said Monday they're tired of waiting for days in a miles-long line that stretches as far as the Reynosa airport, prompting that protest. The backups could impact the flow of produce to restaurants and grocery store, increasing prices, especially on items like strawberries and avocados. While many companies cross perishable foods in refrigerated trucks, the bottlenecks could lead to equipment failures that cause produce and other products to spoil in the heat. So prior to Abbott's order, one truck driver told a Mexican news outlet that he used to make 2 crossings into the U.S. a day. Now he says he'd be lucky to have 1 or 2 in a week given these long delays at the bridges. Mark.
Thank you very much, Sarah. Right now, man's in custody facing murder charges in a cold case. This is 39-year-old Jorge Rivera. According to an arrest affidavit, he was arrested during a recent traffic stop after several undocumented migrants were found in his truck. After being questioned by investigators, he apparently admitted to being involved in a murder from 2016. Now, this is video from the scene following that murder. Investigators say the body of 43-year-old Javier Soto was found in the parking lot of an apartment complex. According to the affidavit, Rivera told investigators he was the person in surveillance video from the crime scene and also reported how he got rid of Soto's remains.
And police need your help finding the person responsible for shooting and killing a man on the city's west side. It happened during a drive-by shooting back in March. Now take a look at your screen. These are the pictures from surveillance video the night of the shooting, along with a picture of the man that was killed. Investigators believe that was a car the shooter was in when he shot 28-year-old Juan Mendoza. Now, we are told Mendoza was shot in the head while stopped at a red light on El Paso Street and South General McMullen Drive. A woman in the car with him was the only witness in that shooting. You're asked to call Crime Stoppers if you had any information on the case, and that number on your screen, 210-224-STOP.
And police are also looking for this man, 75-year-old Antonio Medina Espinoza. We're told he has dementia and was reported missing Monday afternoon. He was last seen on Meadow Forest Street. That's a neighborhood just outside of Loop 410 near Culebra. Police say his medical condition requires a doctor's care. If you have any idea where he might be, call the SAPD Missing Persons Unit. That number is 210-207-7660.
And out of that jaw-dropping crash caught on camera, take a look at your screen. It happened Monday afternoon in Minnesota. A car came flying onto an overpass from a ramp and slammed into a box truck. The truck narrowly avoided falling onto the highway below and burst into flames. Miraculously, no one was seriously hurt. That box truck driver was able to run to safety.
Well, are you ready to fly or catch a bus without wearing a mask? The White House says it's deciding whether to let you do that. It says the CDC will release a framework for the decision this week. CNN's Amy Kiley explores some of the factors that might be at play.
I think everything is still on the table.
The federal public transportation mask mandate expires Monday unless the Biden administration extends it. The White House says the CDC will release a new framework within days to help it make that decision.
We don't want to prejudge this. We want to look at what the evidence says and what the framework shows, and then use that as a decision-making tool.
Right now, people have to wear masks when using public methods of travel, like planes and trains. They also have to wear them in hubs, like airports and ferry terminals. Many U.S. airlines say they'd like the mask mandate to end, but cases are starting to tick up in some parts of the country. Philadelphia is the first major U.S. city to reinstate its mask mandate for indoor public spaces.
If we wait to find out and to put our masks back on, we'll have lost our chance to stop the wave.
Not everyone likes that idea.
And I'm not a supporter of these mandates. What I'm a supporter of is educating and empowering the public so that they can make responsible decisions. But I think those kinds of mandates are counterproductive, particularly at this time.
Of course, when it comes to traveling safely, location matters. The CDC says a trip to most countries in Europe would be very high risk right now. Even countries it classifies as low risk might have complications on the ground. After all, that's how the CDC categorizes China. But Shanghai is under a strict COVID-19 lockdown. I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
And another San Antonio tradition coming back. The city will lift its curfew for camping this Easter holiday. That begins Thursday at 11 p.m. So people usually rope off their camping space at the park for the holiday. That's something people couldn't do for 2 years because of the pandemic. If you plan to participate this weekend, you can check out the full list of eligible parks on our website at KSAT.com.
The San Antonio Independent School District one step closer to hiring its next superintendent of schools. Dr. Jaime Aquino is now the district's lone finalist. He has experience as a bilingual teacher and administrator. District says he has held leadership roles in Los Angeles, Denver, and New York. Dr. Robert Jacklich has served as interim super since late last year. His predecessor, Pedro Martinez, left for the big job up in Chicago. SAISD trustees are scheduled to confirm Dr. Aquino as superintendent coming up on May 3rd.
And happening tomorrow, a new episode of Breakdown with Stephania and Steve. The focus of the episode is mental health in teens. Steve and Stephania will speak with a high school student who struggles with mental health. They will also be speaking with mental health experts about signs parents should look out for. That live stream is tomorrow night at 7. You can watch it on KSAT.com or on the KSAT streaming apps.
Right now, it's about 20 minutes till 7 a.m. and 70 degrees.
And still ahead on GMSA, we're going to tell you why using your phone behind the wheel could be more deadly than you think. Welcome back. It's about 6:45. Whether you're using your cell phone, eating, or talking to a passenger, distracted driving now kills more people than drunk driving.
In fact, last year, more than 1 million crashes were caused by distracted drivers, and more than 3,100 people died because someone was not paying attention to the road.
And as David Sears reports, it's time to take a hard look at what you're looking at while you're behind the wheel.
The photos are frightening. The headlines, horrifying. The reality, even worse. 9 people a day are killed by distracted drivers.
When somebody texts me, I sometimes look it up.
If I get a text message, I try and not read it till I get to a stoplight.
That's how accidents happen.
The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says 1 in 4 car crashes are estimated to involve cell phone use. According to the NHTSA, sending or reading a text can take your eyes off the road for up to 5 seconds, the equivalent of driving the entire length of a football field at 55 miles an hour with your eyes shut. Studies have found that your reaction time will be about 30% worse if you're trying to text and drive. Authorities agree. The best way to avoid doing it, keep your phone on silent while driving or give it to a passenger. Also, put your phone where you can't see it. And install the app Lifesaver. It keeps track of how often you check your phone while driving. You can also allow it to lock your phone while driving, as well as give parents the ability to lock their teen's phone while driving.
57% of people are more likely to stop driving distracted if a friend or passenger pressures them to, and that means half of the people are just waiting to be told to stop. So remember, you could prevent the next distracted driving crash. David Sears, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, David. Let's take a look at our roads at this hour. Hopefully drivers are staying alert and focused. I-10 at Brazos has been the problem spot this morning. We did have an 18-wheeler that caught fire earlier, just before midnight, actually, and we've been seeing first responders out there for quite some time. Led to some big closures on the upper and lower levels of I-10. But what we're looking at, it does look like both levels may have reopened. I'm trying to get that confirmed with our friends over at TransGuide, but we can still see that there are a few lanes blocked off there in those eastbound lanes of I-10. Taking you right to the map. We're not seeing problems anywhere else. A few stalls and some slowdowns, but let's go ahead and zoom in and give you that shot where the problem has just continued to grow, where that 18-wheeler caught fire off I-10 eastbound at Brazos Street. Again, keep in mind the lower and upper levels were closed for some time, but we are seeing a little bit of progress. However, some delays. So if you are traveling from Bernie to downtown, 34 minutes it's going to take you at this hour, and 31 if you're traveling in from Bulverde. But for the latest on the forecast, Justin, people need to take it easy on the roads. Been a little slick this morning.
Yeah, there's been some light drizzle, some light mist. It's made sort of like that light sheen on the road, which sometimes can be a little slick. The reason for that, we have a piece of energy coming in from the south and west. We can see that on water vapor. So right in there's some energy coming into South Texas. That's one of the reasons why we could see a few showers this morning. We're also going to watch for some storms this afternoon. Some showers have already developed in parts of Mexico, and some of that energy has worked its way towards our area. Everything has been very, very light, though, this morning. And certainly it is humid out there. We have a lot of cloud cover to contend with. Nothing as far as thunderstorms right now. 71 Hondo, 69 in Kerrville. It is 72 in New Braunfels, 74 down there in Cotulla, and 69 in Helotes, 70 right now in Rio Medina. And looking outside, we've got cloudy skies, kind of hazy conditions, a little bit of fog in spots, but nothing that's too serious. East-southeasterly winds at about 8 miles per hour. It's humid here in San Antonio. That will not be the case out west this afternoon. Dry air moves in. We get gusty winds. Fire threat is going to be there across our western counties today and all of West Texas. This is because of the setup. We have a dry line that's going to basically break the state in half here. West of that, we're going to get the very dry air fire threat. East of that, we get the humidity and the threat for some thunderstorms, some of which could be strong. The best chance for severe weather is going to be north along I-35, Waco to Dallas. But even here, we have threat for some scattered strong storms as we get into the afternoon. As you go west, the chances of that go down a little bit. And as you go east and northeast, the chances pick up some. The threats, hail would top the list. Large hail and then some gusty winds. We'll keep a very close eye on the radar this afternoon if anything does develop. This particular model does show some showers coming through this morning, and it does want to develop a couple of storms along the dry line, say around 5 o'clock, and then push those east through the area. Right now, we have about a 30% chance of rain in the forecast. That means not everyone's going to get storms later today, but the potential, as I mentioned, is there. By tomorrow morning, cloudy skies return, and then very quickly a front comes through and clears everything out. This front does not cool us down, but it brings gusty winds and very dry air, and that means that fire threat returns tomorrow. Fire weather watch in effect for San Antonio. That likely turns into a red flag warning by tomorrow. So let's go through our forecast hour by hour here. 40% chance of rain 8 o'clock. 40% chance at 9 o'clock. This is mainly drizzle and light rain. By midday, rain chances come down a little bit. We start to see some sun that boosts the temperatures into the 80s and eventually 90s. Rain chances pick back up, only at 30% though, by 4 to 5 o'clock, maybe 6 p.m. And that's when we could see some of those bigger storms. The extended forecast will go 94 tomorrow, windy. 88 on Thursday, 85 Friday, and some rain chances do return by the weekend. Right now, just a 20% shot Saturday and for Easter Sunday. It will be hot, though. Caution you there. 92 on Sunday with that 20% chance of rain.
All right, hot Easter Sunday. Thank you, Justin.
Time check right now, exactly 6:51, 70 degrees.
And as you enjoy the great outdoors again this spring, a lot of new wildlife will be enjoying it with you. So tomorrow on GMSA, an important message from Texas Parks and Wildlife in case you come across an animal that seems to need help.
Outside with live cam, kind of a damp start to our Tuesday. The sun is trying to come up out there. We'll wrap up GMSA's early edition after this break.
Searching for a shooter on the city's southwest side. Good morning, I'm Katrina Weber, live in the Five Palms neighborhood. And this is where San Antonio police are investigating that shooting. They say a woman about 30 was sitting inside this home here when bullets came in from the outside, went right through a wall and hit her in her chest as she was sitting in this house. You could see police taking pictures, also gathering just right outside that house. Now, they've been focusing on that outside wall. Again, they say a bullet went through the wall and hit her inside the home. Now, they say she has a non-life-threatening wound, although she was shot in her chest. She was taken to a hospital, but police at this point really don't have a lot of information about who that shooter was. They're trying to collect whatever they can in terms of physical evidence, but they say right now they don't have a description of the shooter. Reporting live on the southwest side, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Katrina. Be safe out there. Let's get a look at I-10 at Hildebrand. Believe it or not, this is some progress. Although it looks like a parking lot right now, those lanes of traffic had been closed for several hours, and it looks like they have finally reopened. But this is all because of a vehicle fire that took place earlier this morning. Keep in mind, the lower levels have reopened here off of I-10 eastbound, but we still have a few lanes blocked there off of Brazos Street, again, because of that 18-wheeler fire that happened earlier this morning. We'll watch it closely, but let's check in with Justin for the forecast.
Stephen, thank you. We have cloudy skies, a little bit of drizzle, some light shower activity this morning. We'll see a break in the action midday, and then a few more thunderstorms possible this evening. If we see some storms, as we said, they could be on the strong side. 94 tomorrow, gusty winds, high fire danger. 80s Thursday and Friday, a few more rain chances by the weekend.
Stephen, Justin, thank you guys.
Thank you guys. Be careful out there, and we'll see you back here at 9.